देखिए, which of the following statement are true with respect to measure? देखिए, पहला, मेगर इज ए पोर्टेबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट टू मेजर हाई इंसुलेशन रेजिस्टेंस। यह सही होगा। द स्पीड ऑफ मेगर इज केप्ट अराउंड एट 160 आरपीएम। यह भी सही होगा। द इलेक्ट्रिकल पावर फॉर द ऑपरेशन ऑफ मेगर इज प्रोवाइडेड बाई ए परमानेंट मैग्नेट। यह भी सही होगा। डीसी जनरेटर, यह भी सही होगा। चौथा, जनरली मेगर इज द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ डीसी जनरेटर एंड शंट टाइप अमीटर। यह गलत होगा। देखिए, मेगर के बारे में, मेगर इज ए पोर्टेबल इंस्ट्रूमेंट टू मेजर हाई इंसुलेशन रेजिस्टेंस। इट इज बेसिकली वर्क on the principle of electromagnetic induction. The electrical power to a meter is provided by a permanent magnet DC generator. The operating voltage of a meter is about 50 to 100 volt. The speed of meter is kept around at 160 rpm. Generally, meter is the combination of DC generator and series type ohmmeter. Series type ohmmeter is used due to the measurement of a high range of resistance. Insulation resistance. Additional information. Measure definition. The measure is the instrument used for measuring the resistance of the insulation. It works on the principle of comparison. The resistance of the insulation is compared with the known value of resistance. The measure has three coils: two pressure coils, control coil, and one current coil. The pressure coil rotates the moving coil in the anti-clockwise direction, whereas the current coil rotates it in the clockwise direction. If the resistance of the insulation is high, the pointer of the moving coil deflects towards infinity, and if it is low, then the pointer indicates zero resistance. The accuracy of the measure is high as compared to other instruments. Construction of measure. It is the combination of DC generator and series type ohmmeter. It is combination of DC generator and series type ohmmeter. The measure has one current coil and two voltage coil V1 V2. Deflecting coil or current coil connected in series and allows flowing the electric current taken by the circuit being tested. The control coil is also known as the pressure coil, is connected across the circuit. DC generator or battery connection. The voltage is generated by connecting the hand-driven generator. Deflecting and control coil connected parallel to the generator, mounted at a right angle to each other, and maintain polarities. Main polarities pol- polarities polarities in such a way to produce torque in opposite direction. Permanent magnet produce magnetic field to deflect pointer with north-south pole magnet. Pointer one end of the pointer connected with coil another ends deflect on a scale from infinity to zero. Scale A. Scale is provided in the front top of the measure from range 0 to infinity, enabling us to read the value. Pressure coil resistance and current coil resistance protect instrument from any damage because of low external electrical resistance under test. देखिए अननोन रेजिस्टेंस, फिर देखिए V1 V2 X1 X10 X100, देखिए लिगामेंट मैग्नेट, देखिए हैंड ड्राइवन जनरेटर, करंट कॉइल, एंगुलर आयरन रिंग, पोल पीस। Working principle of Megger. The voltage coil V1 is passed over the magnet connected to the generator. When the pointer of the PMC instrument deflects toward infinity, it means that the voltage coil remains in the weak magnetic field and thus experienced very little torque. The torque experienced by the coil increases when it moves inside the strong magnetic field. The coil experiences the maximum torque under the pole faces, and the pointer set at the zero ends of the resistance scale. For improving the torque, the voltage coil V2 is used. The coil V2 is so allocated that when the pointer deflects from infinity to zero, coil moves into a stronger magnetic field. The resultant torque is directly proportional to voltage and inversely proportional to current. In Megger, the combined action of both the voltage coil V1 and V2 are considered. The coil comprises a spring of variable stiffness. It is stiff near the zero ends of the coil and becomes very weak near the infinity end of the spring. A current limiting resistor is connected in series with control and deflecting coil to protect damage in case of very low resistance in the external circuit. The spring compresses the low resistance portion and opens the high resistance of the spring, which is a great advantage of the Megger because it is used for measuring the insulation of the resistance, which is usually very high. The Megger instrument simply connects across the insulation to be tested and operated for a short specific time period. Short seconds is usually recommended. For more than 60 seconds, the temperature and humidity as well as the condition of insulation affect the reading. Which of the following is the main application of point contact diodes? Broadband communication. Point contact diode, tungsten or phosphor branch, wire cat whisker, टंगस्टन और फास्फोर ब्रांच वायर जिसे कैट विस्कर बोलते हैं। देखिए यन सब स्ट्रेट मेटल बेस पी। पॉइंट कांटेक्ट डायोड इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द नॉर्मल पी एन डायोड। ए पॉइंट कांटेक्ट डायोड इज formed by touching a metallic wire with an N-type semiconductor to form a small area of contact. This forms a small point junction. It is widely used because such a small point junction passes a small value of junction capacitance. Thus, the charge storage at the junction is low. Due to this, the switching ability of the diode is much better than a conventional diode. The main application of point contact diode is in broadband communication as a video detector in a television receiver. The no-load ratio of 50 Hz single-phase transformer is 2000/200 volt. The maximum flux in the core is 0.05 Weber. What is the approximate number of primary turns? देखिए concept RMS value of induced EMF in whole primary winding E1 बराबर 4.44 F into N1 phi m. RMS value of induced EMF in whole secondary winding E2 बराबर 4.44 F N2 phi m, where N1 number of turn in the primary winding, N2 number of turn in the secondary winding, phi m maximum flux in the core in Weber, F frequency of the AC supply in hertz. तो देखिए इन दोनों समीकरण से हम लिख सकते हैं E1 बटे के N1 बराबर E2 बटे के N2 बराबर 4.44 F इंटू फाई एम। पहले समीकरण से पहले वाला मान और दूसरे समीकरण से दूसरा वाला इसको लिख सकते हैं। दिस इज कॉल्ड द EMF इक्वेशन ऑफ द ट्रांसफार्मर विच शो द EMF per number of turn is the same for both primary and secondary winding। देखिए अब कैलकुलेट कर देंगे। दिया है E1 बराबर 2000 वोल्ट, E2 बराबर 200 वोल्ट तथा फाई एम का मान दिया हुआ है 0.05 वेबर। वी हैव E1 बराबर 4.44 एफ इंटू N1 इंटू फाई एम। तो यहाँ से N1 का मान हो जाएगा E1 बटा के 4.44 एफ इंटू फाई एम। देखिए सब्स्टिट्यूटिंग द गिवन वैल्यू इन द एबव इक्वेशन वी गेट N1 बराबर 2000 बटे के 4.44 गुणे के 50 गुणे के 10.05 यानी N1 का मान 180 टर्न आ जाएगा। Which of the following component of a single bus system is shown in the above figure? Isolator. An isolator is a manually operated mechanical switch that separates a part of electrical power. This separates a part of the system from the rest for safe maintenance works. Isolators are used to open a circuit under no load, no current condition. Its main purpose is to isolate one portion of the circuit from the other and is not intended to be opened while the current is flowing in the line. Isolators are generally used on both ends of the breaker so that repair or replacement of circuit breaker can be done without any danger. It is denoted by a given symbol. What should be the insulation resistance of the LV side of the 1600 kVA मतलब 1600 किलोवोल्ट एम्पियर पावर 20 किलोवोल्ट ऑब्लिक 400 वोल्ट 3 फेज ट्रांसफार्मर एट 30°C। Concept insulation resistance on the HV side is given by IR मेगा ओम में हो जाएगा C गुणे के V बटा के करड़ी में यस। देखिए वेयर IR इंसुलेशन रेजिस्टेंस, IR मतलब इंसुलेशन रेजिस्टेंस, C फॉर 1.5 फॉर द आयल फील्ड, T/C, V Voltage rating of HV HC side. V voltage rating of HV HC side. S KVA rating. देखिए कैलकुलेशन आई आर बराबर 1.5 गुणे के 400 बटा के करड़ी में 1600 यानी आई आर का मान आ जाएगा 15 मेगा ओम। आई आर वैल्यू एट 30 अंश सेल्सियस 15 गुणे के 1.9 वाट यानी 29.7 मेगा ओम आ जाएगा। हेयर 1.9 वाट इज द करेक्शन फैक्टर। देखिए टेम्परेचर करेक्शन फैक्टर 0 अंश सेल्सियस अथवा 32 फ़ारेनहाइट पे 0.25, 5 अंश सेल्सियस अथवा 41 अंश फ़ारेनहाइट पे 0.36, 10 अंश सेल्सियस बोले तो 50 फ़ारेनहाइट पे 0.5, 15 अंश सेल्सियस बोले तो 59.72, 20 अंश सेल्सियस बोले तो 68 फ़ारेनहाइट पे 1 तथा 30 अंश सेल्सियस बोले तो 86 फ़ारेनहाइट पे 1.9 वाट टेम्परेचर करेक्शन फैक्टर। What is the minimum installed electric power generation capacity source in India 2016 to 2017 IL? In order to meet the energy demand, India has a total installed power generation capacity of 331.95 gigawatt as on 31/10/2017 from all resources. Coal is the maximum installed electric power generation capacity source in India 2016 to 17 and has a share of about 57% of the total installed capacity. IL is the minimum installed electric power generation capacity source in India 2016 to 17 and has a share of about 1% of the total installed capacity, from which diesel is the most consumed oil product in India for electric power generation. A pie chart showing the distribution of India's total installed capacity by the various electric power generation sources given below. Identify the part marked in the electricity meter. Identify the part marked in electricity meter. देखिए रजिस्टर कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मीटर। A typically electromechanically induction type kilowatt hour meter is made up of following: an aluminum disc mounted on a spindle at a current coil and a voltage coil, a permanent magnet and a counter. The current coil is connected in series with the load and the voltage coil is connected across the supply. These two coils generate magnetic field and are arranged in such a manner that the eddy current developed in the disc forces the aluminum disc to rotate and the permanent magnet acts as a brake on the disc. The disc rotates at a speed n which is proportional to power. The worm wheel provided with the spindle move with the counter. A schematic diagram of electricity meter is given below. देखिए स्टेटर, रोटर, देखिए रिटार्डिंग मैग्नेट, रजिस्टर, retarding magnet. The basic parts of a kilowatt hour meter are given below. Potential coil, It has a coil with several turns of fine wire and has a laminated core. It is designed to produce a magnetic flux, which in turn is directly proportional to the voltage. Current coil. It has a coil with few turns of large wire and has a laminated core. Similar to a potential coil, it must produce a magnetic flux that is proportional to the current drawn by the load. Meter disc. This is a disc that is located in between the potential coil and the current coil and is driven by electromagnetic induction. The speed of the rotation is proportional to the applied voltage and current drawn by the load. Meter disc. This is a disc that is located in between the potential coil and the current coil and is driven by electric induction. The speed of rotation is proportional to the applied voltage and current drawn by the load. Meter stator. The stator of a kilowatt-hour meter consists of two sub-assemblies, a voltage coil and core assembly and a current coil and core assembly. These two assemblies are precisely located on the frame to establish an air gap through which the meter disc rotates. Resistor. This shows the numerical value of the energy which is being consumed by the customer. A resistor is a device that records the units that are measured by the meter, and there are a number of different resistor types. The most familiar type is an energy resistor which records kilowatt-hour or kilowatt-hour. For large commercial and industrial customers with a demand rate, a demand register records the amount of power consumed in kilowatt at a specific time. Many solid-state or electronic display can show energy demand, apparent power in kVA, reactive power in kVArs, as well as other units. A retarding magnet. A retarding magnet assembly includes magnet configured to apply a constant drag on the rotating disc of an electromechanical electricity meter. The assembly includes upper and lower keepers secured to opposing extension of the meter frame. A 250 volt motor has an armature circuit resistance of 2 ohm. If the full load armature current is 10 ampere, find the back EMF induced in the armature. देखिए यहाँ पे एक तो सीरीज मोटर है, सीरीज मोटर है, उसमें हम जानते हैं कि देखिए जो होता है VT बराबर PV प्लस IA RA होता है। तो देखिए यहाँ से PV बराबर हो जाएगा VT टर्मिनल वोल्टेज 250 वोल्ट है, 250 माइनस 10 गुना के 20 यानी 230 वोल्ट आ जाएगा। Which of the following types of wiring cannot be implemented easily once construction of the house is completed? Concealed conduit wiring. देखिए बैटन वायरिंग, a type of wiring which is done on concrete or ripe wall above a long and smooth wooden batten. by means of passing wires through the buckle clips installed at an equal distance by a brass nails is known as batten wiring. This type of wiring is cheap and simple. This wiring is mostly used for a 250 volt supply. This wiring can be used in all those places where there is a minimal risk of chemical blows, getting fires, moisture, and other weather effects due to being semi-economical and enduring. This wiring system is massively used in offices, homes, hotels, laboratories, bungalows, shops, etc. Clit wiring. Clit wiring is one of the cheapest wiring systems considering the initial cost and labor, and it is most suitable for a temporary electrical wiring system. अब देखिए surface conduit wiring. If the conduit are installed on the roof or wall, it is known as surface conduit wiring. In this method, they make holes on the surface of the wall at equal distance and conduit is installed. Then with the help of rubber plugs, concealed conduit wiring. This wiring is done inside the floor walls and it is further concealed hidden by plastering the wall. In other words, using plastic or electrical wiring inside a wall, ceiling or floor with plastic or metallic piping is called secret concealed conduit wiring. It's expensive when compared to other surface conducting methods. It is very hard to find any defects in the wiring. Adding additional conduit in future is cumbersome, needs wall chiseling and finishing. Changing the location of appliances or switches is difficult, so concealed conduit wiring not suitable for domestic purposes. Which of the following is the fixed frequency oscillator? Crystal crystal oscillator. Crystal oscillator are fixed frequency oscillator with a high Q factor. It operates on the principle of the inverse piezoelectric effect, in which alternating voltage applied across the crystal surface causes it to vibrate at its natural frequency. It is these vibrations that eventually get converted into oscillation. These oscillators are made of quartz crystal, rochelle salt, and tourmaline. Quartz is expensive, naturally available, and mechanically strong when compared to others. In a crystal oscillator, the crystal is suitably cut and mounted between two metallic plates as shown in the figure. देखिए क्रिस्टल ऑक्सीलेटर CS, LS, RS, CP equivalent circuit. Type of oscillator, approximate frequency range. क्रिस्टल ऑक्सीलेटर फिक्स्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी. देखिए टिकलर फीडबैक ऑक्सीलेटर, इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी नियरली फिक्स्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी. वेन ब्रिज ऑक्सीलेटर 1 हर्ट्ज से 1 मेगाहर्ट्ज तक. फेज शिफ्ट ऑक्सीलेटर 1 हर्ट्ज टू 10 मेगाहर्ट्ज. हार्टले ऑक्सीलेटर 10 किलो हर्ट्ज टू 100 मेगाहर्ट्ज. कॉलपिट्स ऑक्सीलेटर 10 किलो हर्ट्ज टू 100 मेगाहर्ट्ज. हार्टले ऑक्सीलेटर. In a Hartley oscillator, the positive output feedback is inductively coupled by a tank circuit consisting of an inductor coil with A center type. The tank circuit of Hartley oscillator is shown. देखिए कैपेसिटर, यल इंडक्टर, देखिए आउट टैप्ड कॉइल, देखिए हार्टली ऑक्सीलेटर टैंक सर्किट, कैपेसिटर यल1 इंडक्टर, यल2 स्प्लिट कॉइल आउट। अब देखिए कोलपिट्स ऑक्सीलेटर। द कोलपिट्स ऑक्सीलेटर consists of two capacitors and one inductor. A capacitor with a center type is used in the feedback system of the Colpitts oscillator. It is used for the generation of sinusoidal output signals with very high frequencies. देखिए VCC R1 RC C नोड टैंक सर्किट, देखिए इनको टैंक सर्किट बताता है। C1 C2 यल इंडक्टर, इसको टैंक सर्किट बोला जाता है। अब देखिए CE RE अर्थिंग वाला कैपेसिटर, अर्थिंग वाला रेजिस्टेंस। फिर देखिए R2, देखिए C1 कैपेसिटर, देखिए यह एनपीएन ट्रांजिस्टर। अब देखिए फेज शिफ्ट ऑक्सीलेटर। फेज शिफ्ट एंड वेन ब्रिज ऑक्सीलेटर आर यूज्ड to generate audio frequency. Frequency is an AF range. Commonly used phase shift oscillator using three leg circuit is as shown. R R R देखिए प्लस VCC, फिर V आउटपुट, नेगेटिव VEE अर्थ, देखिए कैपेसिटर। फॉर यूनिटी पावर फैक्टर द वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन ऑफ ए शॉर्ट ट्रांसमिशन लाइन इज XL बटा के R। वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन VR बराबर, देखिए रिसीविंग VR नो लोड माइनस VR फुल लोड बटा के VR। द सेंडिंग एंड वोल्टेज इज गिवन बाई VS बराबर A VR प्लस B IR एट नो लोड कंडीशन IR बराबर 0। तो VR नो लोड पे, रिसीविंग एंड वोल्टेज नो लोड पे VS अपॉन A। फॉर ए शॉर्ट ट्रांसमिशन लाइन द पैरामीटर A बराबर 1। देखिए रिसीविंग एंड वोल्टेज एट नो लोड VS बटा के 1 यानी VS। सो द एक्सप्रेशन फॉर वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन फॉर ए शॉर्ट ट्रांसमिशन लाइन इज VR बराबर VS माइनस VR बटा के VR। सर्किट डायग्राम ऑफ ए शॉर्ट ट्रांसमिशन लाइन। VS R XL I VR load for the unity power factor. The load will be purely resistive. Hence, the current I and voltage VR across the load will be in same phase. देखिए VR I तथा IR। अब देखिए फाई R VS, देखिए IXL फ्रॉम द एबव फेजर VS बराबर VR प्लस IXL, VS बराबर VR प्लस IXL। देखिए VS माइनस VR बराबर IXL, यानी यहाँ से वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन बराबर VS माइनस VR बटे VR, यानी वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन बराबर IXL बटा के VR। तो VR बराबर IXL बटा के IR, यानी वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन बराबर XL बटा के R। voltage regulation of a transmission line is defined as the ratio of the difference between receiving end voltage at no load and receiving end voltage at full load to the rated voltage. The receiving end voltage at full load is considered as rated voltage.